Good day, it is Althea from the Bible in 1 Year. Today we spend time in Matthew 25, verse 31 to 46, caring sheep. This section forms part of the extended teaching of Jesus, Matthew 24 and 25, on the end time just before he is captivated to be crucified. These two chapters speak of the second half of the tribulation, when there will be false prophets, the Antichrist, and then the second coming of Jesus. In this extended teaching, Jesus uses 4 parables, earthly situations to teach spiritual truths, to help us to be ready for the final judgment. Today we will look at the 4th parable in this section, the sheep and the goats. In verse 31, we read that Jesus, the Son of Man, will come with the angels, and he will set up his kingdom. With reference to Revelation 20, verse 4 to 6, this will be after the Great Tribulation. Verse 32 to 34, we read that everyone on earth at the time will be gathered before him for judgment. He will separate the sheep to his right, a place of honor, and the goats to the left, a place of rejection. The sheep will be blessed, favored by God, appointed to eternal salvation, inherit the prepared kingdom. They are those in right standing with God that will go with his remarkable grace into eternal, unending life, in verse 46b. The goats, as described in verse 41 to 46a, are the unbelieving people. They are cursed, and their place will be a place of eternal and unending punishment with fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Jesus held these contrasts before them in verse 36 to 45. The sheep saw my need and fulfilled my need. They fed me when I was hungry. They offered a drink when I was thirsty. They took me in when I was a stranger. They clothed me when I was naked. They offered help and ministered care when I was sick. They ignored personal danger when they came to visit me in prison. The goats also saw these needs, but did nothing to offer any kind of assistance or relief. Judgment will come on those who had the opportunity to do something good for another, but did not do so. At the time, they will question these accusations, saying, "Lord, when did you have these needs?" Verse 40 provides the answer when Jesus explains, when these things, good or bad, are done to any one of these brothers of mine, it is done to me personally. This parable refers to the end time events when the believing Jews, the brothers of Jesus, who will be hunted down and persecuted by the Antichrist during the Great Tribulation. The sheep are those who were saved during the tribulation. The goats are the unsaved who survived the tribulation. The least of these are the believing Jews who will have a tough time being persecuted. Jesus says it will be only the righteous that will be willing to risk their own lives to address the need of the one being persecuted. Titus 2 verse 14 read, "Who will willingly give himself to be crucified on our behalf, to redeem us and purchase our freedom from all wickedness, and to purify for him a chosen and very special people, to be his own possession, who are enthusiastic for doing what is good." As his sheep, we are to follow the Good Shepherd and do as he does. However, we should not make the mistake of thinking that salvation comes through good works. John 1 verse 12 says, "But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God." This teaching does apply to us today as well. Galatians 6 verse 10 says, "So then, while we as individual believers have the opportunity, let us do good to all people, not only being helpful, but also doing that which promotes their spiritual well-being and especially be a blessing to those of the household of faith, born-again believers. God, please help us to live as your sheep, following in your footsteps, doing as you did, carrying the same heart, full of mercy and compassion towards others. Grant us your grace for forgiveness and teach us how to care for those in need. Amen. May you be blessed. Goodbye.